Try pinging her again. That should be ready, but yeah, nice ping. I don't want you to burn your leg, but yeah, that game was a little crazy. Yes. Oh man, I don't know why. It's a for fun league, and it's like, why is this group? I don't know. It feels like a bunch of EU folks that are trying to style or something. Get it? Okay. Oh boy.
I did not see your messages till just now. I'm here.
Okay. I was just like, hopefully they're okay and they're still on time. How are you?
Doing all right. How about yourself?
Tired. I feel like that's just the mode of life right now.
Yeah, I hear that. For sure.
All right. Let's see. Looks
I did not
like
check to see who's home.
I say, looks like we're home this time.
Okay.
So, you want to flip a fancy coin?
Sounds good.
I'll go with the bot is alternating, so the next one will be tails. Go bot, go. Dang it, bot! It was working. Heads, tails, heads, tails, heads. Whatever. All right.
We will
What would you guys
take
like?
first pick, please.
First pick. Okay. We'll start by banning the map everybody hates. Brax's holdout.
Okay, sounds good. We are going to ban Dragonshire.
Well, that is just all right. We'll ban Sky Temple.
Good evening, everybody. I think I had a bit of an audio mix-up earlier, but we are here for the start of Phoenix Rising Amethyst and R1Esports playing a game in Division C West. Just a warning, this is my first cast, at least in doing a Heroes of the Storm game, but should be a good one. I got two teams that are just setting up now, and we're going to get started in a few minutes. If we take a look at the maps, we have, let's see, we have Dragonshire that was banned by Phoenix Rising Amethyst, as well as Garden of Terror, and Braxis and Sky Temple banned by R1Esports, and R1Esports got map pick, and they took us to Infernal Shrines. So, should be a good one. I just want to go to my browser for 1 second to show you guys the standings for the league. So currently, R1Esports is in 5th place, but they still have a match to play this week. They could jump up as high as tied for 2nd, which would be pretty great. And then we have Phoenix Rising Amethyst, who's got 4 points. They'll be looking to push up into playoff contention this game. Should be an exciting one. I've seen games from both of these teams, and we can look a little bit more into the teams here. So not too in depth, but players that have played a lot: Jason playing Sylvanas, Waniba playing Anduin, healing. Rock Your World playing Johanna. Mongoose with a lot of Nova, and Zad with a lot of Hogger. Obviously, they play more than that, but those are some of the ones that come up the most for them. Phoenix Rising Amethyst. So they've all played the same number of games. Eternal Blue tanking. Gingy Boy typically in the off lane. Lil Barista playing Brightwing. Steph with an F playing a lot of Jaina. And Zergpern playing a lot of Sylv. So some various and contrasting styles. Let's go down to some match history, and we will go to Infernal Shrines. So they played Infernal Shrines before. See some of the same picks in here, so they might have like a specific strategy they're going for. Seems very wave clear oriented. R1Esports. Go down to theirs. Infernal Shrines. And kind of the same thing. A lot of Sonya. I see a triple bruiser and a Nova on Infernal, so we might get some exciting picks. Let's head back to the maps. So both teams are just getting set up now. I know in terms of playstyle, I've watched a bunch of Roll1 in the past. They really like blow-up comps, but this season they've been running a lot of comps that where you avoid fighting and you side soak or side push, which is kind of cool. So they have a lot of various styles they can go into. I haven't actually got to watch a lot of Phoenix Rising Amethyst, but I do play with a lot of their players. And I know that they have some high-level players on their team that can pop off at any time, so that's great. And I would like to welcome in anybody who's joining us today. It's going to be a pretty exciting match. It looks like we're still waiting on a couple people, so we'll get ready for that. I'm just going to go back to my browser for a second. And generally, I think that if I look at past history, Phoenix Rising Amethyst has played a bunch of games. It looks like to be against a lot of the top of the division. So their schedule is going to get a lot easier from here. If I go to Roll1, their results, they have played so far, I would say like a mixture of like top and bottom division, or at least in terms of the current standings right now. So they'll have a mixed schedule going forward. It's really interesting to see the matchups you get. I know my team has looks like it's a pretty rough back end to the schedule, so it'd be a good thing to get prepped for. Please let me know if there's anything you see I see wrong with the stream. Obviously, this is my first setup. It was weird making a transition to being a caster, but if you're interested in doing it, I would highly suggest it. Getting stuff ready for an ultra-wide monitor, though, a little bit harder, and I apologize for any of you 16:9 gamers, because you're going to have a couple black bars at the top and the bottom of your screen. Looks like we're going to be waiting another 2 minutes and then getting started. Going back to my browser for a second, just to roll out to see some of these players. So I know Rock Your Worlds is a longtime player. I know they play like a lot of Johanna and Anubrak. But then again, if you're tanking NGS, who doesn't? I think the very interesting one is Jason. Jason plays a lot of mages, but can also play like a good Alrak I've seen in the past. And then also Mongoose. So far this season, most games played on Nova, but has also played Sonya and Lunara. If I go back to Phoenix Rising Amethyst, just go up to see if there's been some weird picks as well. So I would say generally, let's take a look at Steph with an F, pretty standard mages, and Vala. Zergpern so far this season, a lot of games on Sylve, a lot of games on Tychus, a lot of games on Greymane, a lot of pushing auto attack type of characters. So I guess we'll be on the lookout for those. And then in terms of C West again, you can look up to the top of the division right now. My team, Gambit Gaming, is currently in first, but like I said, we have a really tough back end, and it's going to be a bit rough. CCS has had a really good season so far. They've had a lot of split push strategy that has worked really well for them. Only losses is Deathballed their way to a really high seed so far in this division. And I know Team Rainbow Strike Grow has also been very successful this season, and although they look like they're a couple points behind, they still have this week's match to play. The other team I would look out for in this division is Seb, and this team I think can outplay anybody. We lost them 2-1 this season, and it was quite like a skill check for us, and it's a really good team in general. Go back to the map view. In terms of chat right now, we have Bankai, who's supporting Rule 1. Izo likes Rule 1, but is supporting PRA tonight. So a lot of different teams and a lot of different fans being represented. Sean C says Rule 1, go, go, go. Christopher Romero, Team PRA, go purple, BB. It looks like we're having some internet issues from some of the players, so we're just waiting a little bit here. Again, thanks for everybody for joining. I know this is going to be an exciting series. Both teams have seen some really good brawls and some good highlights this season, and generally some good shot calling as well by both teams. At least I've witnessed so far watching them. Infernal Shrines, I'd say this season has become kind of the de facto pick. Hogger is very good on the map. You see like a lot of Junkrat played. Mephisto sees a lot of decent play here, and then you can have some weirder characters like Diva. So we can see if people or some of these teams pull out some characters out of the back pocket in order to control shrines or to do some split pushing. There's a lot of different options on this map, and I think that's why it's one of the most popular. Generally, I think the least popular ones tend to be especially maps that run really long or are only 2-lane maps, depending on teams' comfort with them. And I would say that so far it looks like both teams have had a bunch of games on this map. I think it was 3 games so far for Phoenix Rising Amethyst and 4 games for R1Esports, so it seems to be a popular map in the division. I know we've got to play it a lot, people picking against us or us picking it, so. Oh. Okay. And looks like we're getting started soon. Yeah, I know some of people in our main server were talking about a hurricane rolling through in the next little bit, so hopefully that doesn't affect too many people, especially in the southern states. Obviously, people have games scheduled and that sort of thing, but more importantly is people's family and keeping safe, so hope everybody's okay wherever they are right now. It looks like we've got everybody in the lobby now, so we're just about ready, it looks like. Hopefully all the internet issues are fixed. And we're heading into the draft momentarily. And here we go.
Infernal shrines.
So on this map, I'd expect to see early bans on Hogger unless your first pick and planning at taking him. Like I said, Junkrat's pretty popular on this map. And then a lot of the standard picks. Vala gets a lot of value just by auto-attacking the minions on point, but obviously she gets value on pretty much any map. It looks like... I'll just switch that. There we go. Easy. So Phoenix Rising Amethyst has first pick. I think they're probably looking to ban out something meta or something that looks real map. Looks like something meta. We have got Johanna banned. Johanna, pretty much a staple of this map. Really good shrine clear. Lanes are pretty close together, so good clear works really well too. And of course, blinds work really well against any auto attackers. Junkrat ban. Junkrat very meta on this map. clears really well. Traps that boop stuff over the wall, so it can be used as an anchor. And then very safe to siege into the point for sure. We got a Stukov ban. So Stukov, pretty good on this map, but I'd say generally really good with any kind of dive type composition. Maybe PRA is thinking that there's going to be some sort of blow up comp with a Nubarak or maybe a Varian. So we got the Anduin ban and we got Hogger. Hogger generally very good on this map, can spin infinitely on the point if they want, but also really good clear. There's a lot of chokes on this map as well, so Hogger into chokes is usually really good. All around, probably one of the best characters on this map. Sylv and Deckard. So Sylv obviously really good for any kind of split push, but generally a good middle ground between a mage and an auto attacker, can kind of fit into any comp really. Deckard pick early is really interesting. Combos really well with a Diablo or that sort of thing. But really good at controlling like a singular point. So I wonder if that's what they're going to use it for. We have Diablo and a Brightwing. Brightwing probably one of the better meta heroes, and Diablo definitely one of the better tanks. Diablo sees a lot of walls on this map, and obviously is really hard to kill. Brightwing is also gives them a tiny bit of a global as well, which is great. Looking for a ban now. Looks like PRA hasn't shown any DPS yet, so this is probably a ban against their DPS. Looks like they're getting rid of the Jaina, so looks like they're trying to get rid of some blow up. And then we have a Nubarak ban, again getting rid of a blow up and a split push with that one. Interestingly, Diablo got picked as the Deckard is on the other team. Diablo and Deckard work really well because you can pull off a sleep into APOC combo, and it's pretty reliable. So good on them taking away, and there's not a lot so far that melts Diablo. The Tychus is still up, however. Another character that will melt Diablo is an Orphea. So Sylv could, if she wanted to, take a percent-based damage eventually. Orphea always does really good percent-based damage against Diablo. We also have an ETC. Into that ETC, he's going to have to watch out because there is a Tychus and a Tassadar. So a lot of good options here. A lot of good point control for PRA right now. Definitely going to have to chip some of these frontline characters down with the Orphea and Sylv, and ETC is obviously going to have to keep everybody healthy. Sonya is also pretty decent on spinning on this map. I'm not an offlaner, so I don't know exactly how the matchup into Hogger versus Sonya goes, but I would say the Sonya does have the option of a leap, so see if they have some sort of like sleep, leap, Sylv arrow, Orphea, and ETC combo, maybe with a Mosh. There's just a lot of AoE CC options for roll 1, so they'll probably look for that. Let's head to the game. So, looks like we have everybody picked. Looks like Zergpern is actually tanking today with the Eternal Blue returning to DPS role. I know Eternal Blue was tanking throughout this season, so that is an interesting one. And yeah, pretty standard lineup so far, it looks like, for role 1.
yourselves for battle, heroes.
Good luck, have fun comes out from both teams. On the left team, we have Roll 1 with Roll 1 Zed, Roll 1 Velvet, Jason, Juaniba, and Rock Your World. On the right side, we have the red team with Zergpern, Gingy Boy, Eternal Blue, Little Barista, and Steph with an F.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let the battle begin.
Doesn't look like any side cheese with the Sylve to start the game. Looks like they're both going to push down mid. Decker getting to set up. Good charge and flip into the ETC, but Zergpern goes down. Does not have souls yet, and Gingy Boy does too. Good defensive play there. Rock Your World got caught out with that charge into the horde, but good countering. See if they can turn this into anything. Usually this early, it's all about macro. Looks like they're getting ready to start their camp right on the start of the timer. Got Diablo sussing out and staying in bush and bottom, just taking them out, but gets caught there for a second. They're definitely going to look for some task walls with the charge. You know that combo is going to come up at some point. So, the red team's a little bit slower on their camp. Already 5 globes for ETC, looking to finish that healing quest. And they get the bottom camp. Getting them early. Lots of good damage on Zergpern there, but not a lot of follow-up so far. It's going to be a little bit tough to figure out all these camps. It looks like they're going to push out this mid camp. But so far, Roll 1 has almost 2/3 of a level, I'd say. And a little bit more coming here as they finish that wave and hopefully get this wave. Both sides going pretty standard, going for their bruiser camp early. So let's see what team ends up holding theirs the longest. If you don't know, there's a little trick. If you can let the siege camp push in and clear it under your towers, and if you hold the Gura camp a bit longer, it will clear it. So, but both teams look to engage up here. Tychus gets engaged on first, as in his trouble. Just a bit of a slow rotation for ERA, but so far both teams can come out ahead in this. Neither team so far is up on the objective yet, so there's still a lot of time. And the blue team starts the objective early. Still have Brightwing, got an extra wave, so bot catching up the experience. You can see that experience is starting to even out a little bit. But 22 minions ahead is quite a few, now 24. Looks like red team is going in. Gingy Boy slid in and got countered by the Orphea. Got a slide onto Zergpern on Diablo. Oh, and barely gets out with 300 health. Allows blue to turn around and finish off one of their members, but gets slid. This is a bloodbath right now. The towers are doing a lot of work for the red team. And the blue team so far still will be able to have their objective, but just kind of a bloodbath right under their towers. Here's the Punisher for the blue team, the first one. See how much damage, it's pretty early. No way to unstoppable this on their side. so it jumps right on Diablo. And roll 1 seems to be targeting building and trying to get an early fort. And they're definitely going to take it. Looks like they're going to rotate out of here and start the red team's easies. Looks like there was a matchup out top, and Gingy Boy was the victor. Good solo kill, a lot of XP there that he had. Hopefully that can bring them back in the game. Red team clears the camp. Let's see if they look to take one of their own with advantage, or whether or not they're going to use the time to just clear and get back in with experience. There's a flip onto Rocker W. But ETC notoriously good for sliding out of that move. So while the character tends to be a little bit squishy, is really good in Diablo sometimes. And then you see the Crowd Surfer. Crowd Surfer allows you to slide over walls if you're in trouble too. So really cool tech here coming from Rock Your World. They're going to head to the bot camp and look to get that for free. While red team might be looking to gank Sonya. Sonya sees it and gets out safely. So blue team hits 10 first. So they're going to get in to push in a little bit here, especially with the Sylve. There's the 10 for red team. Mind control goes out, the leap, but the Z comes down from Brightwing. Zad goes down, and R1E gets knocked into towers. Diablo again in on ETC, but ETC uses the Crowd Surfer to get out. Red team chooses to clear. So a lot of brawling under red team's tower so far. A lot of engages there, and Zergpern came out of vision and was able to get a pretty decent engage for the red team. And Gingy Boy finished it off. So far Gingy has had a couple good kills by himself. Both teams looking to start their Bruiser camp. See Zergpern taking a look and clearing up some minions. Shrine spawns bottom. So both teams are probably going to have to stay up here top to at least to clear. I know that blue team probably wants to be on Shrine pretty early, at least with the Deckard in order to set up. And it looks like they're getting vision. Rock Your World is far forward, getting vision. But they're backing out to make sure they stay out of vision. And you see the Deckard putting all the potions down. There's a charge on ETC. ETC gets out okay. Eternal Blue goes for the Odin. Starts targeting the Shrine, but blue team is actually up 25-6. Looks like red team is going to have to go for a fight here. There's the engage from Diablo. Apop pops, but doesn't hit anybody. Red team has now got position on the Shrine. If they continue to engage, they have a shot here. There's a huge mosh pit. Oh, that's a huge amount of health loss for the red team. And now Zergpern is caught behind enemy lines. He doesn't have a way out unless he can charge a minion in mid, but doesn't get it off. And that was a long way away. And here comes the Punisher with no real front wall. So looks like blue is going to probably get bottom for free, especially with the Sylve. The Sylve makes it so that anytime you win a fight, especially with an objective, you're getting a lot out of it. Red team looking to clear mid. This Punisher is still relatively healthy. I'd expect they at least get wall here. Red team now gets their 13s. Back on even talent here. slide onto a Diablo and his next objective. So this will give the blue team time to take some camps, apply some macro pressure. So far they've gotten 2 forts down and will probably roll through all these camps. They're going to look for a pick here, it looks like, on Sonya. Sonya doesn't seem aware of this yet, but gets out. It's meeting this team as 5 down bottom. And he's going to look to push bottom in. The next objective will be mid, but kind of top, so getting this lane pushed out is really good, and applying pressure in all these lanes is very good. I'd like to see red team try to take a fight before 16, but they don't necessarily have to. It just looks like the next objective is probably going to come up after the blue team hit 16, and most likely before the red team does. See big potions now for Deckard, pretty big power spike for healing. Now they're starting to siege top with all these other lanes pushed in. See how Hardway they end up wrapping, but they just defend top, which is good. They have to make sure that they soak out the 16 now, and blue team is watching. They know that they're going to start their camp. They try to engage on Diablo with a charge and flip. The Orphea ult is doing work. But so far a 1-for-1, and actually not the worst thing in the world in terms of for roll 1 right now, but sorry, I don't know what happened, just catching back up. But they got the camp out, and looks like they're going to hit 16. The extra kill actually helped them out a lot. Level 12, you do get quite a bit of experience for it, and they're going to probably hit 16 right before this objective. Blue team is looking to still push out top and get a bit of XP, while red team is opting to start right on objective. We'll see if they have time to clear, but that's definitely going to take down Ford if they let it. There's a flip by Diablo, and Diablo gets absolutely blown up. Nothing his team could do on that one. Just a little bit too far forward, the team being there. I think the Hogger was going to go top and clear, and then they were going to start a little bit late on the objective, but this Punisher is going to push middle. It's a frozen Punisher, so it's probably going to take quite a bit unless there's a really good engage by the red team. But at the same time, it looks like the blue team is going to start sieging down and leaving their Sonya here on objective, while red team is going to take some camps across the map. Blue team opts not to 39 the objective and take it right away. There's only mid that has to get cleared, so probably a good call. And while it's even talent, Frozen Punisher is no joke. A lot of CC there. You see the Odin come down, gonna put out a lot of damage. Looks like it might only be this wall unless there's an engage, but there goes the Frozen down and doesn't catch anybody from the red team. Blue team is going to retreat down while Sonya was getting bot camp. Looks like red team is going to look to engage right now, but the W from the ETC pushes them back. Blue team is going to take their easies. Rock your W is pretty far forward, but gets to escape. Even has the option of sliding through terrain. Good level 4 talent pick. And here's APOC. Stun on Orphea. Orphea looks to be the target for the red team, but Orphea is just getting out. And Diablo goes down. The Sylve goes down. And red team is now retreating. No ults left for either team. But blue is very bloodthirsty here. And they're about to hit 20. So all in all, protecting middle keep pretty good with a Frozen Punisher. The red team will be able to hit 20 before the next objective if they don't die first, but they are going to have to defend down a talent tier, so most likely some siege happening, especially when this Sylve gets back up. Blue team looking across the map, they have 20, so they can kind of pick where they want to siege next. I think that they're waiting right now for Sylve to pop up, but maybe they start running at their camp. Both teams are here. Blue team is kind of stepping up, feigning strength until Sylve gets there. They do have 20, but they're not able to see Sylve, so you don't know how fast she's coming. Red team decides to back off, let waves come in for a second, and then get the XP. Next shrine is bottom, so it's going to be some top pressure here. And still another minute or so to go for red team before they get an opportunity with 20. They're looking at Gingy Boy. There's the mind control out. No big deal. That's a really quick ult to come back up. They're going to go and clear top, and blue team is going to rush to objective and start red team's easies first. So even more stuff they have to clear, and even more stuff that they probably have to clear before they go to objective. See, Sonya absolutely destroys objectives. Red team is making sure they clear out what they can, and then they're probably going to go for a late engage before the other team hits 40, but they're already at 30, so they're going to have to grow. There's the APOC combo onto ETC and melts them immediately. Diablo Hellgates into the backline. They're looking at the Orphea. And a lot of damage coming out, but into a hallway, Orphea is pretty good. Zergpern going pretty deep under the fort, and team backs out. 39 left. The blue team might take a look at getting at least one ability into the shrine. But they're stepping up, and Gingy Boy starts engaging right away. But blue team ends up getting the Punisher, and meanwhile, bot keep went down. So red team is going to try to clear this, and blue team races for to take out more structures while red team is distracted. Red team realizes it, is looking at rotating on them, and they're rotating, looks like Safeway. Right now, blue team got top wall, looking for more, but Orphea steps up really far. There's only 2 people here from red team though, and Gingy Boy gets blown up right away with a leap and a mind control. ETC's back in the fight in a second. Blue team's gonna siege this down up top, but a lot of lanes that need clearing right now. Mid catapults, gonna take that down if not handled a couple minutes, and still the objective on 4. Big blow up onto Brightwing. Blue team is backing up, and red team is using their ults to clear. Currently 2 people down from red. This is probably all structures going down for the blue team. Mind control goes out. Velvet just wailing on them right now, but a big by Diablo by pulling her in. Diablo's back up with his souls. But Mosh Pip onto Eternal Blue. And the slide in and the Elite from Sonya. APOC onto ETC. He's taking damage from the fort. Zad is wailing on the fort right now. Looks like both teams are kind of figuring out whether or not they're going to finish or not. The front line from Blue is looking to finish. But Augur goes down. A lot of Blue members up, and the core finally falls. So a really well played game from the Blue team. Lots of macro pressure, especially with that Sylve. And Orphea generally was allowed to escape a lot of those engagements and could siege down the Hogger and the Diablo who's trying to chase her. In terms of stats, highest damage, Eternal Blue, 71,000, and really good siege. 51,000 damage from the Sonya, so that's a lot from an offlane Sonya. Orphea and Sylve had a ton of damage too, and then you had Hogger and Tass, and then generally a lot of siege damage on 3 characters, and then of course not a lot for Brightwing and Diablo, not known for their siege. And so we are going back to the map and roll 1 game 1. So, oops. Perfect. It's so fun when the teams switch in the lobby. So, yeah, we're just waiting on game 2. So far, we have there we go. That's correct now. Roll 1, pick the first map, picked Infernal. It'll be up to Phoenix Rising Amethyst for what map they are going to pick. Still on the board, looks like Cursed, BOE, Alterac, Spiders, Towers, and Volskaya. A lot of different options. I'll just be right back in a sec while we're getting ready. So I'm back. Looks like Phoenix Rising Amethyst has picked Battlefield of Eternity. They went to somewhat of a macro focus map when Roll 1 picked it, and now they are going to go and try to brawl the other team out on one of the highest brawl ratio maps that I can think of in BOE. I'm sorry if anybody had problems with the stream before. I'm not sure what happened. Both my game and my stream went down for, I don't know, about 10 seconds and then caught back up. So if you're seeing issues, I will try to correct in the future. It's just tough. I can't really restart the stream while I'm in the middle of it. So the fun. In terms of what works well on this map, obviously anything that has race. So you're going to see Vala being a high priority on this map. Typically, you're going to see any auto attacker be very high priority. You can also go with different off lanes as well. You don't have to be as macro focused, so you can pick things like an Imperius and Artanis. Anything that does well in team fights and races down really well. Just a lot of options in terms of the off lane pick. And then there can be a bunch of different strategies too. Double healer I've seen used on this map. You can have like a siege comp. I've seen even hammer be picked on this comp and work pretty well depending if the other team can siege at all, because usually they're playing for race and don't pick a lot of mages. So I think out of the so far, I'm going to take a look back at my browser, and let's take a look to see history. If Phoenix Rising Amethyst has played this before. Phoenix Rising Amethyst has not played Battlefield of Eternity. And then I will go to Roll 1. And has Roll 1 played a lot of BOE? I saw at least one there. They have Li Ming, pretty consistent across there. There you can see some different picks, like an Alarak. There is a Rexar in the off lane there. You can see an Artanis. It's probably its best map. And looks like we're getting started. So we're going to go into our next game. We enter Battlefield of Eternity. Make sure I get that NGS logo here. Blue team taking their time to think of what they're banning out. Looks like it's the Junkrat. Junkrat is really good at preventing teams from battling the Immortal and can be really good at general clear. But yeah, basically used as put traps under your own Immortal and make sure that people don't stand on top of it. See the ETC banned out from PRA. Some good work last game with Rock Your World with the ETC. Was really slippery and allowed him to get out versus those Diablo charges and allowed the rest of his team to melt that front line down. So they want to take that away from them on this map. Garrosh banned. Interesting band so far. I wouldn't even say that any of these are in the maybe some of the leagues, but these tanks might not even be in the top 5 most picked. Maybe Garrosh. So some interesting tank bands, and we see the Sylve band. The Sylve did a lot of work last game in terms of allowing Roll 1 to take advantages when they did get kills or objectives and push them even harder. And this is another one where a Immortal is going to run down one lane, so a Sylve would do that as well in this one. Stukov picked early by Roll 1. Probably going for some sort of blow up comp. Stukov is really good with that, so look for characters or especially tanks that line up with that. The Anduin picked by Barista, and the Vala. Vala, very well known on this map, really good at racing, really good at brawling. And the Anduin, of course, gets people out very easily without an actual cleanse, just pulling them, as well as the Light Bomb if they want to. Raynor, a good racer, and the Johanna is still up. Johanna would have paired pretty well with the Anduin, but this is one of Vala's better maps, so I can understand that. Johanna, though, will blind Vala. Vala typically, though, goes an arrow build on this map, so we'll be going more mage build and less auto. So Johanna does a little bit less against Vala on this map than most maps, and not as much clear, but obviously a good engage with the shield. We see the Artanis banned by PRA, and a Diablo banned by Roll1. So far a lot of tanks banned out, so we'll see what's left in terms of tanking. Like I said last game, we got a Blaze from Eternal Blue, and we have a Li Ming. Li Ming, obviously a good brawler, doesn't have to worry about clear as much. Good for this map, good at sieging down the Immortal. And then Blaze can keep relatively healthy. A lot of AoE stuns, but especially like a lot of escapes too. So far, a lot of race on the PRA right now. But we have the Hogger and the Jaina. Jaina is probably one of the better mages at chunking down the Immortals, just because you can aim it directly at it. But we have a Stitches from Gingy Boy. So anybody could get hooked at any time. There's not a lot of escape out of this team. Hogger can get out, Johanna can get out. I'd expect those to stay in the front line. But if Jaina or Raynor or Stukov gets hooked, well, might have a short day. So we've seen another tank swap, and Eternal Blue is now in off lane. So a lot of different looks here from PRA. We're going to switch to the in-game. Both teams have some pretty decent race. Red team is going to be very reliant on the Stitches hook to bring people in, and like I said, it can't be certain. It probably can't be certain members of the blue team. Otherwise, they're going to be a lot safer, and also makes for some interesting alts as well. Obviously, I'd expect Gorge to be coming up with this, but you never know. Let's see. On the blue team, I have Zad on Hogger. I have Jason on Jaina. I've got Velvet on Raynor. I've got Rock Your W on Johanna. And Waniba on Stukov. On the red team, I've got Gingy Boy and Stitches. Zergpern on Li Ming. I've got Barista on Anduin. And I've got Steph with an F on the Vala, as well as a Blaze by Eternal Blue. Gingy Boy using that vision to look for a hook. Really fast clear by the blue team. Well, I would say a little bit slightly slow clear from the red team, so we'll see if blue team can use this advantage. Up in the top lane, Zad gets a huge chunk of his health out by blue. Looks like we have a pause currently. So I'll go back to map view a second. Looks like we have a player with legs, so we're just waiting a second. And it looks like we'll be a couple minutes. So far, from what I saw, I know so I've played with Gingy Boy quite a few times before, and he's played main tank on some really good rosters, and he loves playing Stitches. So this will be interesting to see a good Stitches play the game, especially with the having to miss the Joe and having to miss the Hogger. Though Hogger can die if it gets pulled in, especially if they line up the combos really right. Li Ming is really good at blowing up people, as well as Vala. But with the Stitches combo, usually you do need some sort of CC. So you have Anduin, you have a Light Bomb, you have the Anduin Chain. So you got a lot of different options there. While blue team is a bit more straightforward, they blow up single target really well. R1Eva with the silence. You have Jason on Jaina with the with basically all of her spells just cast in the target, and then Rock Your World can kind of stand in front and do whatever, while you've got Raynor sieging down. So quite a different amount of options. I think it's really going to come down to some of these hooks, and then whether or not there's enough follow-up. Both teams playing to the router gods right now. A router has been restarted. When we last left the top lane, I think Zad was at about 33%. So probably going to have to go back. Maybe misses half a wave or something like that, which early in the game is pretty big. And any advantage you can get in macro on this game is a pretty good advantage. In terms of build so far, I will be able to show you them after we're done the pause. But Stitches went with Patchwork Creation, which provides extra healing, Puncturing Arrow for the Vala. So you're gonna see that Mortal be burned down really quick when you build that out, and you do a lot of damage to the Immortal. Adrenaline Stimpack on Blaze, which makes sense. Power World Shield, the W from Anduin, and then Ethereal Walker. Looks like we might have person back. So we will go back to the game. In just 1 second. Okay, we are back. So Hogger was last left, got to tap. Blue pushes him down, but Hogger is pretty sustainable. Down in the bot lane, we see blue team has cleared quickly, just misses the Jaina. That is definitely the target he's looking for. Red team checking bottom camp, but there is a brawl right now between blue and Zad. Blue's taking the raw end of that one. Again, blue team clears the wave really well and looks for that Jaina again, but just misses. Blue team is rolling up right now, maybe looking to get a gank on Eternal Blue. It's enough CC on blue right there, and just goes down. While red team is going to use the time to take bot camp, blue team goes up and gets their own. And you see all of red rotating top to come defend. And they're keeping the Raynor bottom. A lot of damage in. The hook misses. Blue looking for the Raynor. Raynor is pretty decent clear on this map, and again, you see the team rotating down. Both teams will start their bruisers now. So, some early XP lead for the blue team. About half a level so far. Both teams look to clear their bruiser. And now we have blue setting up offensively. They're going to race right away. Gingy Boy looks for the hook. This is a 5v4 up here under their Immortal defending, while blue is clearing bot. Red team has to go back and defend because their Immortal spawned on blue team's side. We'll look for the hook. Stitch is going to have to wait a second. He's stepping up to threaten. And Hogger is taking top, so it looks like blue team is going to try to siege this down. But they get the hook, and that's what they're looking for. And there's the blow up. And they get looking for another one right now on Johanna. They're going to have to send some people back to race. There's a lot of damage going on to Johanna right now. Vala using the time to clear the Immortal. And you see Zad rotating in on the bunch. And now they're reforming as 5, so red team's gonna have to back up. And blue team gets the first objective, as well as some nice ropes to go with it. People looking for the Bile and Slam build. Looks like not on this map. They look past it, go for an early kill, but Eternal Blue's gonna have to go back up and deal with this Hogger. So hook out. They look to clear the Immortal. So far it looks to be getting the wall. A lot of siege down here for the blue team. And quite a lot of damage done for a first Immortal.
Thus ends my assault on hell. I must rest.
Things even up a little bit. Blue low mana, but Zad about half health. Looks for the hook on Jaina, just misses. Red team is scouting out bottom camp, and blue team is using this time to go do the same strategy, which is to go to the top, make sure Eternal Blue can't step out, and take the top camp. They're going to send the Hogger bottom. The blue team is trying to figure out whether they're going to take the camp or not. You see them line up to push down, and they only have the offlaner here, so be interesting. Red team takes bottom, and here's blue coming into siege. Roll 1 with good siege here. It's going to take a long time for the red team to come up here, and they're going to get at least half the fort, a little bit over that, as well as a camp there. Look for the hook. Down to the bottom. Steph with an F is trying to stop this Hogger from pushing out and clearing this camp. Things have evened out. Quite a bit of damage on both forts, but both forts are still standing. And especially when Gorge comes into effect, these hooks, like one here, would change the game. Hook goes out and does catch the Hogger, but blue gets out. Blue team starts with a race. They're going to hit 10 first. You see red team go out and side soak a little bit, but they get quite a bit of race down just with their Vala. Blue team is going to use this to look to take the rest of the Immortal, and red team is going to take their Bruiser. So, I'd be surprised if a fort doesn't go down with this objective, but stranger things have happened. That Immortal is going to go bottom. Angie Boy's backing up. Looks for a hook, but just misses. There's a shield out. And the the smallest of health left on the fort, but it goes down. The red team steps up with 5. This will give Hogger a good chance to clear top and then go right for that fort, but blue team is going to join them. Pretty decent macro on blue team. Quick rotation, but we'll see if they get caught in it right here. And they're stepping up, but the hook on the Joe, which is not the most ideal target, but still can get blown up. You got a Gorge on to Hogger. And Hogger pulls out just in time right before the light bomb. The hook misses, and looks like blue team get out. Some weird periods on this map where there's not a lot to play for, so it really is about brawling, and any hook could get red team back this game. Look for the hook, and Eternal Blue gets blown up against the pullout. They're looking at Gingy Boy now. He uses the fort to peel, and is looking for a hook, but no long hook until 13. Blue team is using this to take top camp, and probably will use this to push us in. Still 3 seconds left, and a bunch of walking for Eternal Blue to get back into this. And you can see Rock Your W kind of collapsing around his squishies, making sure he's standing in front, which is a good call right next to when you got a Stitches looking for them. So, top fort goes down, bottom fort goes down. The macro pressure is against red team right now. Blue team looks to be wrapping down to the bot camp first, but red team realizes this. Looks for in the back line. Eternal Blue goes in, bunker, but that silence splits him from the rest of the team, and he gets destroyed. And this is going to give blue team a lot of time on the objective, and red team has a long way to go around to even start to clear it. As well, there's a camp going down bottom lane, and they still don't have level 13. Immortal is grabbed by the blue team, and it will push top. They just have a half second here before they have a talent tier advantage over them, but now red team has it, and that Stitches hook gets almost twice as long.
The wickedness of hell dwindles before me. I shall march for hell's gates.
He's gonna look for vision. Blue's gonna look to provide it. There's a lot of Immortal left to chunk there. The pull from Anduin. Still a lot of health on that Immortal. Big. Oh, into the bunker. Gingy just saves himself. Blue is very damaged, and then pulls in Jason. Great hook. Oh, and they have Hogger too. And they might be able to save the keep. Wow, great turnaround there from PRA. PRA races to bot lane, and looks like Roll 1 is looking at their camp, but I think they know that they can't stay there. Though death timers are pretty quick right now, so there is an option that they are able to invade if red team's really slow. But looks like they were pretty quick to the spot. Looks like you can breathe on this keep if you wanted to, but there's not a lot of side push options for the blue team. So that should be pretty steady as long as Eternal Blue clears that consistently. And you see the push down on bot lane. Red team is going to hit 16 first, so they're going to look to back up. Blue team wants to look for a fight right now. And yep, they back up, and they're going to look to their bruisers, it looks like, or look to top lane. Both Hogger and Blaze are on the top camp, and everybody's going to start collapsing here. They see each other. There's 16 advantage for the red team. Zad Hogger holds out. Big silence on the back line. Gingy Boy the tank gets split from the team. He doesn't have a lot of outs besides removing slows, but managed to use his health to get out. So a big turn right before the Immortal spawn. I think red team will end up going to their camp, and blue team might look to invade this if they're bold. Red team gets out pretty quick, provides a little bit more macro pressure up top so they don't lose top keep. I almost want to see blue team take down top keep with that, but they use the time for the Immortal. Makes sense. Like I said, you could breathe on that at any time. And red team goes down and clears a bit. They do need to look at defend this though, because there's some pretty quick clear right now, and there's the hook on the back line, but they managed to get out. There's a big stun onto Zad. The shield out on Gingy Boy, and blue team's won the Immortal, but Rocket World is down to 24 health. Whew. So red team's looking to push a little bit farther, but the hook misses, and eventually they're going to have to retreat here to clear the Immortal, but right now they're still looking for one more kill. We'll see if that costs them in terms of structure.
I will bring down the gates of hell.
Blue team going to be a little bit cheesy and take out top, which makes sense. You don't see anybody here and nobody's clearing, so you know that they all went to it. So now they're going to get a keep and a wall. And you're going to see Rocket World back up. Gingy gets the hook and the gorge onto Hogger. I'm sorry I missed that, but great play by Gingy Boy. They're going to race to bot camp. And looks like there might be some blue members there that Stitches might want to hook. But blue team thinks better of it and stays safe. At this point, red team is actually up on XP, but really down in terms of structure. So they're going to have to go on a killing spree of sorts here. They're going to siege down bottom with Hogger down. And then rotate up to top fort. While blue team's bruisers just spawned, so they'll be able to take this and to clear out bot. Red team's about half a level ahead to 20. Hopefully they can use that as an advantage in one of these fights, but already 2 catapults on core, so still a lot to clear. There's a lot of structures down for red team right now, so. And they're definitely going to have to clear this bot lane, because that is a pretty weak keep right there. Managed to clear the bottom lane, so those catapults become a little less dangerous. Gingy Boy is looking. Woo! Almost gets that Stukov. Oh, but runs up. Here comes the light bomb. Comes off a little bit early. The pull on Gingy Boy. They're looking at Zad. Zad just scurries his way out, and there's Stukov silence, just takes down 3 of them. It's a really crazy combo with the Stukov silence, the Johanna W, and all Jaina's abilities. Cast it all in one place, and it looks like they're going for core. Not a lot of damage left on the red side, so defending core is going to be a little bit difficult. It's all about CCing people at the right time right now. And hits the unstoppable Joe, so it doesn't do anything more to the team. It's a lot of time for the blue team to take down this core. And it looks like they're going to do it. A lot of damage on the blue team, but they pull it out. A 2-0 for R1Esports. GG's to both teams. And so we see the stats from the game. Hero damage, quite a bit. I'm just going to make sure I go over to lobby so that somebody can join me. So we have right now, let's see, Li Ming with the most damage is and Vala and Blaze, so they all had a ton of damage. However, most of blue team's damage was put into the actual Immortal. We have
Velvet from the game, but
oh hey, how's it going?
it's good. How are you doing?
Sorry, I didn't recognize the Discord. So we have Velvet from Roll One in here for the interview. So what did you guys do to prepare for your games this week?
I'm a sub, so because I've been a part of the team for a long time, but I'm too busy to play full time. So the going understanding was, let's get me on a couple of comfort heroes, and I think Zad did some research on some bans, which then turned out they were role swapping anyways, so that didn't really seem to matter.
Yeah,
so
there was a lot of role swapping those games.
Yeah, so we just kind of stuck with we don't want to play into Junkrat because we know they play Junkrat, and beyond that, it seemed to be just that was our plan, was just get ourselves some of the heroes that we know we're okay with and have some fun. So.
And I saw on the Infernal Shrines, you guys did a lot of rotating quickly onto the shrine itself. You guys got out the shrine first, and it seemed like they were trying to catch up, especially on macro, and then to actually push in the shrine. And usually by the time they got there, you guys were at least like 20 minions up or that sort of thing. So was that a strategy that you guys were going for that game?
Yeah, I think so. We have a Decker Kane, so you need to be there ahead of the other team to set up to make it worthwhile. The credit to Rock and to Zad, they've both been, over the last few seasons especially, working really hard on improving the team's macro play, and it shows. We all kind of know where we're supposed to be going, when we're supposed to be doing it now, and it's more of a, we're not always looking for fights, and if we're in a fight, we're asking, why are we in the fight? Is this important? Does it matter?
Right. Yeah, so, you don't want to fight over nothing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So in game 2, obviously, macro is a little bit different on a map like BOE, and you guys had a lot of race. I noticed that your team damage actually was really low against the other team, so you weren't brawling them much, or when you were at least blowing them up. But most of your damage was actually going into Mortal, and again, you guys seem to be on objective first. So again, is that part of that comp you're running is just to outrace and to get there first and make them catch up?
Yeah, I think so. We don't always play BOE that way, and that was just a matter of, hey, we grabbed Jimmy. He's really good at this. I think everyone goes for Vala. She's the typical race hero, because she brings so much more to the team fight. But if you never team fight, Jimmy's great. So yeah, that was just, we wanted to get to the objectives first, and it just, so I think it might appear like we didn't have to, or we beat them to objectives lots, but a lot of it was we just happened to get a lucky pick
Right.
before an objective, and it wasn't like we were looking for it or the other team gave it to us. It just kind of happened, like how Heroes does sometimes. So
Right. And the one thing I did notice that was interesting on that map is you guys did like a 4-man rotate and rotated your offlaner to bottom to gank the Blaze a couple times and take top camp. And then you guys would trade out bottom camp for top camp and were able to do quite a bit of damage sieging that down. So I thought that was a really, really cool strategy where your team is together, they're pushing with that camp, and the other team is kind of scrambling to figure out where your team is going across the map without vision.
Yeah, Jason called out early, hey, we should do a rotation, and then Rock identified, yes, we should, because we don't want to fight. Stay away from them when we don't need to, and be around them, especially with a Stitches Li Ming. Like, we're gonna get blown up if we try to fight them there. So
Right.
don't fight in their territory, and change where the territory is in those situations. And it worked out great. It was just one of those nights, like, we don't always play well, and it was just one of those nights where everybody seems to be making the right decisions based on the information that's coming to them at the right moments.
Nice. And you guys got the 2-0, so you're moving up in the standings. Is there any other teams you're looking forward to playing this season?
Honestly, I'm probably the last person you want to ask that to. I think I missed it. They played Valk's team already, I think, and that's usually one of the teams that we love playing. We were good friends with that team, and that's really what we're looking for. Any time that it's like, hey, we like playing into those guys, that's lots of fun. Those are the teams we want to play. Is the teams that it's not so much whether it's like a hard match or an easy match or anything like that. It's mostly just who are our friends, who do we like playing into, and which in our league is it's hard to, you can throw a dart in our league and you won't hit. It's not like you're going to hit a team that sucks to play into. So
Right. So is there any other shout outs that you want to give before we end the stream?
Sure. Shout outs to our Rock, Winiba, Zad, Jason, Goose, because he